days of my life, and I'll dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. This morning is a very, very special day because we're inching towards the end of the month. And yesterday, Parliament reconvened. Speaker Bagbin is the new star boy. Now, I like the fact that Speaker Bagbin is explaining and telling us that, well, we've been trying to do this to try and emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, and only ourselves can renew our minds. I like the fact that he's saying that. I also like the fact that the leaders in Parliament, and maybe you can show Speaker Bagbin in his full regalia. It's a mixture of everything. Small Igbe, small Gun, small Fanti, small Akan, small everything. It's mixed everything. Now, Speaker Bagbin won that. And you know, interestingly, the leaders in Parliament, that's a Speaker Bagbin, obviously not too used to wearing these kind of things. So the way he's holding the kenteno, yeah, it's suspect, but it's okay. We love our speaker like that. Now, Speaker Bagbin is wearing this. And I like the fact that both the majority and minority leader have said that they apologize for their attitude and, if you like, the brawl that happened. Because if the brawl happens and Speaker Bagbin is wearing this, he cannot run away. It will be difficult for him to flee if he wears this and the MPs decide to fight. The speaker cannot run, because even to wear a hinima is, you understand? He may have two options: to throw away the kente and run around with the jumper and the shorts, or decide that he won't come to the chamber at all. But that raises a key question for all of us. We've been talking about Friday wear, Batakari Friday, smoke, and all of that. I know a few CEOs, and kudos to Honorable Alan Chermantin, for example, who even in opposition, after they have started the presidential special initiatives and all of those detail about trying to promote made in Ghana, he's warning. I don't remember the last time I saw him in suit, for example. I know a few others, Honorable Kwesi Ajiman of the GTA, a couple of them who are very, very dedicated. Okoboy wears a locally made tie. So we are promoting made in Ghana. But the thing is, has this sunk in? Do we still believe that the tie is the dress code for business, and that even when we are traveling outside, unlike the Swati people would do, we decide that we are not taking our local attire out there. We're traveling outside, including even our chiefs. All of a sudden, we want to wear suit. It's good. Sometimes the weather is crude. But what are we selling to the world? Year of return, beyond the return, all of those ones. What are we selling to them? Show them again what the speaker wore. And the speaker has pricked our conscience. I know that there's a standing rule in Parliament, for example, that says that you either have to come if you're doing traditional, full traditional, if you're doing what do you call it? If you're doing something from Obroni Chrome, then it has to be complete, which is why the Agric minister was sacked the other time from the chamber, because he had worn a suit and a shirt, but he had decided not to wear a tie. They sacked him to go and wear a tie. And he's a former parliamentarian, so he should have known. But he decided to break the rule and was sacked. So the question I'm asking this morning is, why have we developed a strong taste for foreign stuff? And I'll come down to how that is affecting our economy and even the strength of our city. So this is it. This is our speaker. Now, people had raised a couple of questions. I remember that the speaker had served notice before they went on break that he would try and change it. Whether he can sustain it or not, I don't know. And this is where I want to see companies like GTP, the Woodins, the ATL step in and try and sort the parliamentarians out to try and get them to represent them. You understand? This is where we need to start engaging our people. We have told the young people that the payroll is choked. A lot of young people are sowing. And that is why a lot of young people are against the E-levy, because most of the young people that you have told that they cannot find job in the public sector have created jobs for themselves in the private sector, and those jobs are being run online. And so if I, for example, know how to sew shirts and trousers and skirts and crop tops and all those things and headgears and whatever it is, bow ties, and I decide that I've started a small online business on Facebook, Instagram, and a bit of Twitter, and I decide that I'm selling, now I am going to be hit with E-levy, and so if somebody has to transfer money to me, it will break my neck. Eventually what it will do is it will collapse my business. So are we trying to do a certain kind of matrimonial failing? Because you see, I believe that when people do business, they must pay a decent tax. I believe in it. Which is why when Revenue Ghana option of NAPCO came, I was happy about it. Because I knew that we were going to, as we have said over and over again, expand the tax net or widen the tax net. By then widening the tax net, you don't double and triple and quadruple tax people. Because they, for example, are choosing a payment option that somebody sows for me. I decide to pay cash, no E-levy. I decide to pay via Momo, E-levy. It doesn't make sense. You are taxing me because I'm choosing a certain method of payment. And I'm saying that that E-levy has a potential of collapsing a lot more of small businesses which are running online. People are doing kelewele, people are doing ice cream, people are doing plantain chips, people are selling clothes, people are selling all manner of things, people are sell artwork, whatever it is. Go on Instagram, you find them. So it is the duty of the Ghana Revenue Authority to identify them, encourage them to be properly incorporated, and to track them, and to have an online presence that monitors and decently tax these people. Because whatever it is, once we kick in the E-levy, whatever, delivery costs are there, will be transferred to us. Whatever delivery costs are there will be transferred to us. Mind you, they also buy things online. So yes, we are trying to promote Made in Ghana, but for most of the people who are doing Made in Ghana stuff, shoes, bags, belts, whatever it is, watches, everything that the young people are doing in this country and trading it online because they cannot afford to go and hire a shop and get a lot more people to work with them, because a startup, they need to stabilize before they start thinking of scaling up properly, even though they have a plan. You are going to collapse those businesses. And we all know what the unemployment numbers are. Huge numbers. Forget about those scratching their heads and telling us figures, quoting contrary figures. Any day I'll go with the finance minister because he protects the public purse. He holds the public purse. So any day I'll go with the finance minister on that. So yes, it is good that Speaker Bagbin is leading the way. It's good that Adan Shermante is leading the way. I've seen a president a couple of times wear it. I've seen John Mahama wear a few. I've seen a few, public officials wear local apparel, which is good because once they wear it, it becomes an example. I remember, for example, John Mahama in Parliament, State of the Nation address. That was Tony Senaya's breakthrough for horseman shoes. Can we also get another person to wear caveman watches and start promoting it? Can we get somebody to do purple trends? Can we get somebody to wear grandpa like I'm wearing? So all those things come to play. But I'm saying most of those guys trade online. So data is expensive. You are adding E-levy. You are choking them out of business. Don't you see? We're choking them out of business. Same way we did to the banks, and now we're getting into the insurance companies. Once we get up, we set minimum capital requirement. We did it to the banks. We have not learnt our lessons. It is still smelling of us. People have lost their jobs. People have not gotten back their monies, but they told the president, we have paid everybody. Pure lies. Now we are getting into the insurance companies, and my deep-seated information is giving me indication that some of the insurance companies are already beginning to fold up. But the commission is quiet about it because they know that when they start saying it, there will be a run on the insurance companies. Everyday capital requirement, everyday capital requirement. And we all do know that all the fingers are not equal. So what company A can afford as capital requirement, company B cannot afford. And so you must be able to scale them and put them in certain levels. Category A, like we have done for the banking sector, there are microfinance, the savings and loans, there are commercial banks. You put them in different layers and you give them different capital requirements. You don't jam all of them together and say, if you don't get your capital requirement of X amount by this time, we will have to shut you down. We saw capital requirements. What did they resolve in? Job losses. People have still not been paid their monies. And people have been told that they will be giving coupons, bond. So when you go to the market, you tell the tomato seller that, oh, I want to buy tomatoes, but I have bond. Yeah, they bond tomatoes. Do you buy tomatoes with bond? When do you walk to the Mokola woman and tell the woman, I have a bond, I want to buy Christmas tree? Do you, for example, say that? So we want to promote made in Ghana. But we also want to see how, which is why consultation is important. Those young business people who this morning are trying to look sharp to make ends meet, have we even consulted them in all of this E-levy thing? Have we consulted them? We have not consulted them. Have we engaged them? We're only interested in the Guta or AGI, all those big ones. I'm saying that the young people who are in the middle, who are trying to create jobs for themselves because the state has failed to create that enabling environment for them, whose parents may have given them 1,000 or 2,000, or whose wives and husbands may have given them some 5,000 somewhere, because when they walk to the banks, they can't get those monies made available to them because they don't have collateral to back it and all of that. Those businesses, those small businesses that are running today, your fuel is high. Now you buy something for 15 cedis and your delivery is 25 cedis. It doesn't make sense. You buy something cheaper and the delivery man that brings it to you is charging you higher. It doesn't make sense. So we need to be looking at all these indicators and start thinking through. Good to promote made in Ghana. But I'm provoking a debate this morning. I'm provoking a debate for the Minister for Youth and Sports. Because your job is not just to go for AFCON and lose and come back. Your job is not just to go and be talking to athletes and to be presenting their trophies to the presidency. Your job is also the youth and sports. What are you doing for the youth of this country? Ministry for Youth and Sports. NAPCO people have not been paid. And we often talk about, 4 months. So we start counting from October, November, December, January. It's not 4 months. September and August, I think, have not been paid. The 2 months that they were owed before we got in to ask them to stay on, has not been paid. Some national service persons have not been paid. Some nurses have not been paid. Teachers who have gone for their training for the new curriculum, 30 Ghana cedis, they have not been paid. So Ministry for Youth, first of all, before sports. These are all young people. Your silence is deafening. Ministry for Youth and Sports. There's a reason the nomenclature youth and sports. And the way we are going as a country, it looks as if we are almost ignoring the young people of this country. It looks as if we are ignoring the young people of this country. And I'm saying this because in a country where we are happy that older people who have gone on retirement are getting contracts to stay on and choke the top, so young people at the bottom cannot climb up, because there are old people at the top who have worked for more than 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, are due for retirement, are still at the top, choking the top in the name of contract, because we have gotten a high appetite for it and we have choked the top, and young people cannot climb up. It's happening in our security services, it's happening everywhere. So you enter as an ASP, you are hoping that you will be climbing up. There's somebody at the top who has choked there because he has a contract. There's somebody at the top that has choked it. And any country that has its older generation employed and its younger generation unemployed is a ticking time bomb. It's dangerous. How are we transferring knowledge and experience? How are we doing that? It's sad. It is very, very sad. So yes, I support local content. Yes, I support made in Ghana. But let's look at all these things. How is it that we give bringing foreign direct investment? We look at the GIPC law, we give them foreign direct investment, then we give them tax holidays, and we say, oh, give us a quota of people that you employ for blah, blah, blah. We give them all those holidays. But when people start business here and they are looking for tax holidays, it's hard. As soon as you start the tax, or let's say you go and get a small container somewhere, you want to start something small, district assembly will come, business operation permit. Landlord will come, support me to pay property rate. Rent will come. Then now your capital is coming. Then now your utility bills are high. Then now if you're using internet, your data is high. So as a young person, once you start the business, there is not that kind of support. It's not when we have finished eating as old people, then we take small oil, you say we have given $30,000 to the young people, and we put the oil on their lips. What is the population of this country? Check the census results from November that was presented by the Ghana Statistical Service. Check it. And tell me how many old people there are and how many young people there are in it. Do the mathematics. Now, if your young people are walking about, they are not gaining experience, and even those who have gained 3 years experience have been left to be on their own, and everybody is silent, it's a problem. Even persons living with disability, when we hurriedly, on the 17th of November last year, when the budget was read in Parliament, the finance minister said we were going to, subject to the approval of Parliament, stop collecting road tolls for 2022. We again saw our minister for roads quickly write a letter, and we were giving that lame excuse that people were fighting. Up until now, nobody has told us who was fighting who at any of those 38 tolling points in this country. Nobody has told us. Now, at those tolling points, we had persons living with disability because we created the impression that we love them so much and we are creating jobs for them. Since we took those jobs from them, after we closed the tolling points for cars to move to and fro, what alternative jobs are we giving them? Because we said we were going to reassign them. These are persons who cannot walk. Some of them, they have one hand, were problematic and all of that. We took their jobs from them for political expediency. Oh yes, political expediency. We took the jobs away from them. Have we given them jobs? Have we thought about how they are feeding? How can we be so cruel? Persons, even persons with everything intact, 2 hands, 2 legs, they are finding it difficult to survive. Then people who are fiscally challenged, marginalized in society, we take jobs from them, tolling points job from them, and we are not giving them alternatives, and we have left them. We have left them. That is how cruel we are as a country. We leave the youth, we leave persons with disability, and we start claiming funds for ourselves. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do this to ourselves? Now, Danny put for me the corruption perception index. And I know that we'll have people say, oh, it is perception. Well, in the past, when the same perception had been made about the ease of doing business, blah, 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 in this country, we're happy to celebrate it. But we know that as a country, we failed to make progress in the fight against corruption. And I'll show you the graph shortly. In 2021, we retained our 2020 score, 43 out of 100. If it's an exam, we would have failed. 43%. We were ranked 73 out of 180 countries in the 2021 Corruption Perception Index. It was released by the Transparency International. So if you look at the trend analysis, Ghana's CPI score, that's on the screen right now, over the past decade shows that the country declined by 2 points. Check it out. 2012, we got 45%. 2013, we got 46%. 2014, we got 48%. 2015, 47%. 2016, 43%. 2017, 40%. We dropped three ranks down. 2016, we dropped 4 ranks down from 2015. And then in 2018, we came up 41. Then 2019, 41, we stayed there. 2020, 43, 2021, 43. This is a statement released by the Ghana Integrity Initiative. That's a local chapter of Ghana's performance. It leaves much to be desired. That's what they said. They were focused on corruption, democracy, human rights. The global COVID-19 pandemic had opened the doors for government to further expand and execute powers, conceal information from the public, and strip away their rights. Where is the COVID account? Where is the COVID account? The testing at the airport. We need to start looking into that. So good morning to you, Mr. Speaker of Parliament. Good morning to you, Honorable Majority Leader. Good morning to you, Honorable Minority Leader, and all the whips. It is also known that governments, they have to take some measures to address the canker. Our government has to take some measures to address the canker. The abuse of public office, the impunity remains a problem. Play for me Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's voice and his video from his inauguration at the Black Star Square in January 2017, after he had aspired to become president of this country since 2004. He had dreamt the idea 2008, 2012, 2016. He became president. Play for me what he said about protection of the public purse. Play.
State coffers are not spoiled for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions. Public service is just that, service and not an avenue for making money. Money is to be made in the private sector, not the public. And measures will be put in place to ensure this. We must create wealth and restore happiness to our nation. We can only do this when we have an educated and skilled population that is capable of competing in the global economy. We must expand our horizons and embrace science and technology as critical tools for our development. We believe that the business of government is to govern. Ours is to set fair rules. We will provide vision and direction and shine the light down for the party that wins an election, but resources for the country's social and economic development. I shall protect the public purse by insisting on value for money in all transactions. Public service is just that.
That's the President of the Republic, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in 2017. And you heard the things he said, brilliant things. So today I'm asking, where are we going in our corruption fight? We are stagnated. Yesterday I was refreshing my mind with Martin Amidu's corruption risk assessment on the Ejapa deal. And he had included other things. He had mentioned the PPA and many other things. So where does the perception come from? Does it come from the PDS scandal that nobody has been held accountable for, but rather we are being asked to clap for government because we had gone into a deal and because we had identified that there was some bit of a rot, we had pulled the plugs and now we're asking for applause instead of telling us that we have helped person A, B, C, and D for holding us through this wrong route. A Japa deal. We were told of people who signed and gave commitment on behalf of the Republic of Ghana when they didn't have capacity to do so, who has been held accountable for Ejapa. Our transaction advisors, have they refunded the monies that we paid them because their job was to make sure that we don't step into a certain ditch? We are still preparing to take Ejapa back to Parliament. Where is the hurry? Where are we going? Is that protection of the public purse? Because now the public purse is leaking. I'll demonstrate to you. We gave to ourselves the Public Financial Management Act. It's detailed. The Public Financial Management Act we gave to ourselves. We are good at enacting laws. Citizens have a role. But the citizens cannot arrest themselves because the power of prosecution is that of the state. It's the job of the state to prosecute crime. So there's perception, but there's also reality. There's perception, but there's also reality. You want to talk about the Boss contaminated fuel saga? Who was held accountable? You want to talk about Galamsey, the expose, the missing excavators? You want to talk about contract for sale? What do you want to talk about? And in all of those instances, who were held accountable to serve as a deterrent for others not to follow their bad example? And you know why? When the ruling class does it and nothing happens to them, the civil servants and contractors and all those people, they hide behind the ruling class to also perpetrate it. I'll demonstrate it to you. This is the Auditor General's report from 2016 to 2020, comparative analysis of irregularities. From 2016 to 2020, figures rounded to the nearest CD. Auditor General. It's not Johnnie Hughes. It's not TV3. It's not Media General. It's not GJ. Type of irregularities. Let's look at it. Outstanding debtors, loans, recoverable charges. 2. Cash irregularities. 3. Payroll irregularities. 4. Procurement irregularities. Tax irregularities. 5. Stores irregularities. And then contract irregularities. These were the things the president spoke against in 2017 at his inaugural speech. He put people there in the various ministries, departments, and agencies who have supervisors to ensure that this does not happen. So how is it that it's happening? You've seen the corruption perception index. We are stuck. It choke. This is it. These were perpetrated. The civil servants themselves. The people who supervise the civil servants, when they commit those mistakes and nothing happens to them, the civil servants will emulate the example. Nothing will happen to these people. They will appear before the committee of parliament. They'll be told to go and sin no more. People will be asked to refund the monies. But if you take 1 million of state money and you put it in your account and it stays there for over 1 year and you appear before a committee and you're asked to go and put it back, the profit you have made on it, if you were even using it for matrimonial business, the profit you'd have made on it, would the state get a share? We lost 12 billion. 12 billion cedis. That's it. 12 billion. 12 billion. 856 million. 172,626. That's how much we lost in 1 year alone. The previous year, we lost 5 billion. The previous year, we lost 3 billion. The previous year, again, in 2017, we lost 12 billion. Then the previous year, 2017, we lost 12 billion. Then in 2016, we lost 718 million. This is it. I shall protect the public purse. The public purse is leaking. Do you know what 12 billion can do? Are you aware what 12 billion can do? And have you averted your mind to what we are demanding for in the E-levy, for example? The E-levy will give us just about half of this. 12 billion. 12 billion of our money. Look at it. Cash irregularities, debtors, loans, payroll irregularities, procurement irregularities, tax irregularities, stores irregularities, contract. This is what it means. They take something to stores. We procure it. Let's say we procure pens. Then we take 100 pens to the stores. We say, oh, we have 100 staff, so we have procured 100 pens for this year. But previously we bought them pens. So when your pen runs out, you come, you sign, we give you a pen. Then by the close of the year, the staff have not gotten the pens, but the pens are finished. Stores is a simple way to explain it. Then what do you call contract irregularities? You just sometimes don't understand. You sometimes don't understand. So when we say we are fighting corruption, do you know that previously we used to say incorruptible Nana Akufo-Addo? We used to say that. And then Martin Amidu came and he says he is the mother serpent of all corruption. He's a good friend of the president. Don't get it wrong. Even when Mr. Martin Amidu had resigned, the president said he doesn't regret making Mr. Martin Amidu the special prosecutor. Then Martin Amidu also thanked him. John Yadomelovo, he thanked him. So now, It doesn't show when it's no longer perception. The thing is there. It's there. Auditor General is there. It's there. If you find the Auditor General's report, it's there. It's there. Page 3 is there. Report of the Auditor General of the Republic to the Public Accounts Committee of Ghana. Public boards, corporations, and other statutory institutions for the year ended 31st December 2020. In 2020, you know that the Auditor General does those reports. 2020, we do these things. This is how much we lost as a country. There are communities in this country that are drinking dirty water with goats and cows. There are children who are lying on their belly to access education. There are all manner of things. There are streets that have not been done in this country. 12 billion. Mr. President, I want to see you hold people accountable. I want the system to deal with them. Office of the Special Prosecutor, I don't want you to be a talkative like your predecessor and be writing us letters. I want you to deal with the situation. There was a matter somewhere in the Ashanti region when we were going to approve the MCEs. An MCE nominee who had given, supposed to have given monies to people, and the people voted against him. So he was asking them. The video is there. You had the video. You had cause to invite him. Osimufa Misika Mami. You invited him. It's been how many months? Office of the Special Prosecutor. What has happened in this matter? Because you have evidence. They say nothing convicts a man faster than his words. By his own words and by other people. How have you dealt with the matter of corruption? So it is no longer perception, really. And you see, people cannot now say that incorruptible Nana Akufo-Addo. People cannot say, I'm not saying the president is corrupt, but I'm saying that if the people who work with the president and the civil servants who are under the supervision of the president they are not doing right because we have 12 billion that have been lost. What more can you say? What more can you say? Now, another interesting point. The president stood at the Independence Square, and I'll wrap up with this one. It speaks to our maintenance culture, and that's, for me, is another portion of corruption that we have not dealt with. Another portion of corruption is our lack of maintenance and how we leave things belonging to the state to go with. It stood at the Independence Square. The Independence Square has a lot of relevance to us as a country. We call it the Black Star Square. And history, some persons say that, well, history has it that there are 6 stands and they represent the big 6, the Independence Act is there and all of that. People ascribe all manner of meanings to it. But have you visited the Independence Square recently? This is part of a national monument. This is a national monument. See the cracks? This is a national monument. Then every Independence or Republic Day, we do Pentimaminto, and then we go and march around there. We ask our children to stand in the sun. Our soldiers, our policemen, GPRTU, everybody. We go and stand there, we march around there, and when we finish, we go home. And it is breaking apart piece by piece. Somebody thought and built this for us. We can't maintain it. Shame. We cannot maintain this. Danny, there's a video. Play the video. There's a video attached to this. There's one of them that's a video. Then this was sent to me by one of the, what do you call it? Play the video, please. This is a video. Is that a video? Okay, so I want to hear the sound. This was sent by somebody who had gone to watch the Rapaholic concert or so. And he had seen this. Play for me. Play the video. Up sound. This is it. This is our public place. We are wrapping up. Danny, I went on what do you call it? A sit match. Look at it. Look at it, oh, look at it. We do Pentimaminto every now. This is a citizen who sent it to me. He said we went there, we saw it, and we thought that it was so. We were thinking how we could get it. He just sent it to me. He just sent it to me. Our maintenance culture, which I think is also corruption, is big. Danny, let's go back to 2019? Yes, 2019. We had done one in 2018 about the state of the Independence Square, and we had done another in 2019, a follow-up. Play a bit of it for them. Let it sink in. And this is where I'm ending this morning. This is where I'm ending this morning.
Concrete, supposed to be playing a cover to the iron rods, have exposed the iron rods because they have withered, perhaps expired. I don't know about that. But this year, you can tell the cracks are there, the iron rods are exposed, and they are alive and well all over the Independence Square. Last year also, I'm sure you do remember how we told you about a particular situation where one of the gates, the iron gates, supposed to be held on by a hinge, was hanging off loosely. It was then hanging on to this hinge, and this other hinge couldn't hold it on. This year, progress work is that the iron gate is falling off completely, and we have had to put it here. There's a generating plant in there. Its other brother on this other side is hanging onto one hinge, just like its brother had done in the last year. And guess what? It's shaky. It has a wire holding it together. That's just one part of the story at the Independence Square. Come with me. Let me show you something under the stands. If you come with me under the stands, you'll also find that the iron rods, which we told you were exposed last year, are now hanging off dangerously. That's another part of the Independence Square. I'm willing to take you on to another part for you to see the other side of the story. Then again, we'd like to remind you of something we brought to your attention last year on the 5th of March 2018. The deep cracks in the stands. And this is the walkway to one of the stands. It's showing excessive cracks. The Independence Square seems to be breaking apart piece by piece.